I've known Gusto for over 20 years, and we see a lot of things the same way in terms of IIS and how information systems can impact organizations. And I was particularly pleased that he invited me to Malaysia, because I've never been here before. Let me start with a story. Sometimes stories help sort of set the stage for the topic. This is a story about a medium-sized company in Canada, an insurance company in Canada. And this insurance company was a very traditional company, a very hierarchical structured company, and it used traditional processes and commands and controls for all the things it did, including information systems. Well, they decided they were going to initiate a new information systems project. And this project was going to use web-based technology to communicate with their brokers and customers. Because up to that time, they'd been using pretty much mainframe processing, very structured ways of communicating with these people. The only trouble was that the information systems people that they had that were going to do this didn't really know much about online technologies and the web-based services, and they were unsure about the requirements. But the company went ahead anyway. And they went ahead and they used, again, more traditional controls to help with the systems development and more traditional procedures. And it did not work. What I have to do with my presentations, my research presentations, is to put in 2 or 3 quotations from famous people that relate to the topic. And these quotations sometimes are could be semi-humorous, they might be slightly off-topic, but they're intended to be thought-provoking. Okay, and so when you see a quote come up, I'll mention something about it, but the intended is to get you thinking. And so this quote is from a former famous Formula One driver in the United States. He drove for McLaren and a few others. And this guy, his name is Mario Andretti. And Mario Andretti says, if everything is under control, in terms of his driving, you are going too slow. How do we measure the alignment of information systems controls? And how do we measure the alignment between control execution and control mechanisms? How do we measure the alignment between control environment and socio-emotional consistency between 2 or more concepts? And so in our case, we're talking about the alignment of those various aspects of control, and we are talking about the alignment of an existing organization's control with an ideal set of controls. So on the left side, this is a set of IIS process controls that an organization has. So those ORs are intended to represent values of controls in an organization. And then on the right side is an ideal profile. If they could put the ORs in a perfect position and perfectly adapted to the company, this would be what's on the right. Perfect agile profile. Here's a perfect hybrid profile. If every aspect of an organization's controls is balanced, that's perfect. That's ideal. And then this is traditional. Okay, so a traditional ideal diamond profile are in alignment. That's alignment, in my opinion, because I would predict that fits. I would predict that the goals of those controls would be. However, if they don't fit, like, I mean, if say the control environment was very flexible and adaptive and changed all the time, and the strategy did not fit the work control processes, I would say that's misaligned. Okay, and that maybe there's a different way that these work control processes could be done with different teams of employees or different technologies. So what we're saying here is that yes, some controls can be very effective, but some controls may not.
I would like to say thank you again for coming. Thank you, Prof. Gusto, for becoming the liaison officer for Brent. So let's give him a round of applause.